I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and today I'm going to be talking about the most important things that you need to consider when we're thinking about social media content. So if you want to smash your social media content creation, get loads of engagement and loads and a higher visibility of your posts, then keep watching, because I'm going to show you the most important things that you need to do to achieve that. Okay, so I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train businesses how to effectively use social media. And if you want to connect with me, there's a QR code. Do connect with me on LinkedIn, where I do live streams every Monday on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube. So please, if you are watching, please do give us a thumbs up, say hello in the chat, introduce yourselves, and please do ask any questions as we are going along. And even if you're watching this on catch up, please do ask any questions and I'll answer them afterwards. Okay, so that's me, Bex. But first of all, I've got a little introduction. So this is me. I'm Bex, and this is my family. I'm going to share with you just a few photos of who I am, what it's all about. And actually, there are a few little clues in each of these images that I'm going to share at the end. There's something each of these images has in common. So keep an eye out and listen to what I'm saying and see if throughout the length of this live stream you can actually guess what these pictures I'm going to show you has in common, apart from me, of course. But as you can see there, that's my family, that's my husband and my two children, and we're stood there on our favourite beach in Wales, where we love to go every year, do a bit of camping because we love the outdoors. On the hillside you'll see lots of beautiful sheep grazing. It really is a really nice rural area, and that's what we love. Okay, so I have a dog called Rosie, and she's a bit like a little lamb. She loves frolicking through the fields when we go camping, and she is very cute, and you may often find her barking on some of my live streams. That's our tent where we go camping as well in the summer. Last year it was really hot, it was fabulous. And these are my parents, that's my mum and dad. And my dad ran his own business, which is one of the reasons why I launched Social Media Executive, inspired by my dad to run his own business. And he did that alongside running a small farm where we had a number of sheep on the farm, as well as chickens and donkeys and things like that. It was a great place to grow up in. And there's me on the farm when I was little, in the blue dress, looking after our lambs. So that's a little bit about me, just to give you a bit of background. And again, I'm going to tell you what is in common with all these pictures and why I've given you this little bit of background at the beginning of my presentation. I'm going to tell you at the end and tell you why that's really important. Again, if you've got any questions as we're going along, please do pop them in the comments. But I just wanted to talk about today, what are the most important things to consider when it comes to social media content? These are the main areas that you need to focus on to make sure that your content gets seen far and wide. So I'm just going to go and run through them. The first one is consistency. Consistency is so important. And what I mean by consistency is consistently posting quality content, not constantly posting, because constantly posting doesn't necessarily mean quality. But if you decide you are going to post 3 times a week, then you need to stick to that. And one of the reasons why is that the social media platforms are watching what you are doing on those platforms. And if your business pages are consistently posting every week, they're going to give you more visibility. They're going to reward you because you are being active on their platforms and creating consistent content. Therefore, consistency is vitally important. It's a little bit like going to the gym. If you consistently go to the gym, you're going to get fitter. You're going to tone up. If you stop for a while, then you're going to lose that fitness. Okay, so it's the same with content. You're going to lose that visibility if you're not consistent. And actually, I had a guest speaker, Kate Fox from Fox Graphic Design, earlier in the year, and she talked about an example where she wasn't consistent on social media for a while, and she saw a massive drop in reach, and actually then trying to reinvigorate the engagement on her posts, she really struggled for a few weeks afterwards as well, because the social media platforms had seen that she'd not been consistent. And so they had basically unprioritized her content. But do check out my website, because the blog is on the website and it's a really good read. So thanks, Kate, for sharing your story there. So that's consistency. The second thing you need to think about is talking in plain language. We all too often fall into jargon on our social media, and jargon can be really quite detrimental without us knowing. So don't fall into your industry's jargon. Here's a little example of an advert I saw on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago now that I just thought was a great example. Introducing the new Ramio Otto Guarani, featuring a strong vintage aesthetics that expands on its retro spirit. Wow. I mean, I've covered the image on this, but can anyone guess what this was about? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Can anyone guess what this post was about? Because if the image hadn't have been there, you really wouldn't have a clue. Well, I certainly wouldn't. But if you know what that's about, please do post that in the comments. So that's a little bit about being, dropping that jargon. Just don't use it. Okay. So the third thing then is planning. If you don't plan your social media content, I can guarantee that you'll get so busy that before you know it, you'll be like, oh, crikey, we've got an event in 3 days' time. We've not even talked about it on our social media, and we need to get loads of people there. Or, oh, blimey, we're launching a product next week. Actually, nobody knows about it. We've been so busy in the business. Therefore, having a really simple plan where you write down each week, just vaguely, what you're going to post about, and you stick to that, can be really, really helpful. And again, if you look on my website, I actually sell a digital content planner. Okay, so this is my digital content planning toolkit. And here you can simply plan how often you want to talk about on a monthly basis, what you want to talk about in your business. And there are printable planners that you can actually just print out for the month and just quickly write on in pen or type it into the planner if you prefer the digital format, with a little plan of what you're going to post. And I can guarantee if you do that, you help you stick to that content plan. So have a look on my website. They're only $24.99, but they're available for you, and they make a massive difference to help plan. There's loads of tips on content support, and there's loads of links as well. If you get a really good post, pop a link in there to your best post, and you can refer back to them and do something similar again, because you know it's worked. Okay. So the next thing then that's really, really important when you need to consider your social media content is understanding what makes good content. Okay. So what does make good content? And I can tell you now, it's different for everybody, because everybody has different audiences. So you need to understand what your audience wants to see and what makes good content in your sector. So as an example, how about this? Would you say this is a good post? Now, a lot of people will look at this post and go, well, no, not really. The images aren't very good. He's chopped his chin off. The images, here, you can't even see who that is. Okay. So is that the best post? Well, I'm not sure really, because they don't look very professional, those images. But actually, this is a client of mine that I've been working with over the years. And this is Tony, who owns The Last Post. And this was back in June 2019, when he had just taken over the pub. Okay. And he was updating it and improving it. He'd basically he basically adopted the Last Post Facebook page. Okay, he'd never used Facebook before at all. So he came to me and said, Bex, can you help me, teach me how to use Facebook? They had about 1,500 followers at the time, and their posts were reaching maybe 80 people. It was very low reach on their post. They weren't getting very much engagement. But actually, this post is a good post, because it actually reached 8,990 people. It had 2,964 engagements. So although you might see that as a first of all and go, well, the images are rubbish, this post took Tony about 5 minutes to create. He took a couple of quick snapshots, popped them on there, wrote his post out. He didn't take that long to do it. And then when it went out, he got great engagement. And he's been getting great engagement on his posts ever since. Some of his posts reaching over 12,000, 13, 15,000 people in one case. And he's only got a few followers. He's just got, I think, just over 2,000 followers now. But it's a good post because it's quite genuine and people have to click on it to see who stood on that table. So that's creating engagement. So again, don't overthink your posts. You've just got to think about what would attract your audience. Okay. So the next thing you need to consider is new and interesting information. Social media is about breaking news. It's about updating people. It's about telling the world about what you've got to offer and what's new. And people are really interested to find new content and see new content. But most importantly, the social media platforms want to see new and interesting content as well. So what is the most liked Facebook post ever? Well, I'll tell you, the most liked Facebook post ever is this one. I don't know if anyone knows why, but basically this post got 15.7 million likes. Okay. Now, this is a post from Nick Wojcik. Now, he is a consultant and he is basically a world-renowned speaker, coach and entrepreneur. But none of his posts had ever done this before. And this, one of the reasons was it was new content. They'd just gone on holiday. They were updating everybody what they were doing, but it was that personal touch as well. It was showing what him and his family were out and about doing. Everyone knew him for being on the stage, and now it's a bit of behind the scenes information. So again, it's that informal connection that he's got with his audience, a bit of information and insights into what they're doing. Okay. So the next thing you need to think about is engagement. One of the most important things you need to consider when it comes to social media content is engagement, because I can tell you now, this is going to be make or break for your social media. If you do not get engagement on your posts are just not going to reach many people, and your social media platforms are not going to grow in followers. So again, engagement is so important. And again, in the social flock, which is Barbara here, we talk about engagement a lot. And we've actually got an engagement thread in the group, which I'll be telling you more about in a minute. But engagement is absolutely essential. And I cannot stress that more than enough. This is the most liked Instagram post ever. This is a copy of the post that I took, and this is the most liked post ever on Instagram. Why? It got over 56.1 million likes. It got over 33 million comments. And the reason why is because it was a new post, and it just said, let's set a world record together and get the most liked post on Instagram. And it was done. You can find that their profile on world_record_egg. They're on Instagram. They've only ever got that one post. Okay. And the reason being is because that post encouraged engagement and everybody engaged. It was a bit of fun. It's a bit of clickbait. Now, I think you struggle to do it these days on Instagram because all the algorithms, the little rules that the robots make up has changed. But basically, this is why engagement is so important. That was a brand new Instagram profile. They didn't have any followers before they did this post, but they created this community of likes and engagement. Okay. So the final thing I want to talk about is connecting with your audience. It's about bringing your personality of you and your staff into your social media. This in 2023 is absolutely essential. You've got to show how you are unique and as a business. And the only way you are unique these days in your business is because it's either you and your staff. You're the unique people that work there. So connecting with your audience is key, which is one of the reasons I showed you some of these photos. I told you a bit about who I was, what my background is, and why I developed Social Media Executive. Now, has anyone noticed the common theme within these pictures? Anyone? Well, the common theme within these pictures is sheep. Believe it or not, we've got the little lambs that I grew up with, my dad, who was the sheep farmer as well as accountant, the little sheep in the background here, our dog who frolics like a lamb amongst the fields, and here you'll see the sheep in the background. So why sheep? Why are sheep so important to me? Well, sheep are so important to me because sheep can help you. I know that planning your content can be a bit of a burden, a big burden in some cases. You know you've got to post, you know you've got to be consistent, but you just don't have the time to do it. You're lacking in that content inspiration, and you don't have that accountability either. So this is the reason why I have actually launched the Social Flock. The Social Flock is a social media content support group to help you conquer and create consistent, compelling content on a regular basis. And this is basically how we do it. There's a weekly content writing sessions that we hold on Zoom at 1:30 every Monday. We come together on Zoom, and I challenge you to write 40 posts in 3 posts in 40 minutes. And basically that's helping you to be consistent. Once you've got those 3 posts written, they can go out every week on your social media, and you know you're then being consistent. So you can tick that off at the beginning of the week. There's a buddy up system as well. So members buddy up together and they appraise each other's social media content. They appraise it and have a look at it to see if there's any jargon in there, or to see if they were a potential customer, would they understand what you're trying to say? It's helping you overcome and making sure you're getting across in plain language and appealing to your audience. There's a monthly Meet the Flock session where we come together, we meet other members of the group, we share our challenges, we ask for ideas, we ask for support, and we also do a bit of networking and planning in there as well too, which really helps to shape your social media content. And also, it's just a great support network because, let's face it, a lot of the problems people come across on social media, we're all sharing it and we're all in it together. We all have those problems, so we're all sharing them together. We have weekly training sessions where I train everyone on a certain area. We have different themes each month. This theme is about connecting with your customers. So it helps you to create that great content that's going to get reach far and wide. We've got weekly tips, advice and post ideas that go out in the group. We run it through a Facebook group. There's lots of ideas and inspiration. And if you're not on Facebook and you don't want to be in a Facebook group, it's all summarized in the weekly emails that come out as well, so you're not missing out. We have boost opportunities. So if you're struggling with engagement on your posts, actually every Thursday we come together and people can basically share a post and say, look, can someone just jump on and give this post a bit of engagement? So we're helping with engagement to increase the reach of the post so you can reach more of your customers and get more likes and comments on your posts. So there are engagement threads happening every week in the group as well. There's monthly webinars where I invite industry guest experts to come and speak. And also we have a particular training each month to help you improve and train you up on how to create consistent, compelling content on your social media, helping you keep up to date. So basically, if you'd like to join this group, we'd love to welcome you to our flock. It's basically just £495 per year, and that's it for everything. It includes everything that I've mentioned, or you can pay £45 a month. So please do come and join the flock. Just visit www.socialmediaexec.co.uk and go and have a look at the Social Flock. We'd love to welcome you to the group and help you get a grip of your social media content. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope this has helped to inspire some useful ideas for your social media content. If you've enjoyed this, please do give us a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, please do place them in the comments below. And I look forward to answering all of your questions, and I look forward to those of you who would like to join the Social Flock. I'll put a link in the live stream here, and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm not going to be live now for a couple of weeks because of the bank holiday, but we'll certainly get another date in the diary for Joe Watson to come and join us as well for the live stream. So nice to see you all. Thanks to everyone who's engaged as well today on the live stream, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks everyone. Bye.